This is a pencil. You probably knew that already. But it can be used for so many things, from writing and drawing to fidgeting and maybe thinking. But today I'm going to be doing something completely unheard of. Actually, that's not true. I've seen lots of people do this online. And that is to carve a sculpture in the very tip of the pencil. They say it's impossible. I don't know who says that, but ultimately I want to try for myself, and I think I have the patience to make it happen. So I got things set up with a camera and a monitor. Now, I don't have super fancy gear. I don't have a macro lens or a microscope, unfortunately. So the monitor was really just to make sure that I was mostly in frame so that you could all watch the progress, but I could see more details with my eyes than with the monitor. I also got out all my supplies, which was basically just colored pencils, an X-Acto knife with extra blades, and some safety gear just in case. And it was time to get started. Now, you're gonna think I'm insane for what I decided to sculpt first. In this rough sketch with the pencil that I decided to use, I decided to try to make a link out of the lead or graphite of the pencil. In my defense, I knew this was going to be very challenging, but I wanted to just dive right in, see how far I could get. Turns out, not very far. Almost immediately after scraping down the pencil, I broke it. So I tried again, made it a little bit further, was feeling a little bit better, and I broke it. So yes, I realized I took on too big of a challenge to start, and I simplified things down a little bit. I still like the idea of trying to put a hole through it, so I just wanted to go for a ring, which I was so excited that I actually got to that point, and then I immediately broke it. This is kind of a spoiler for the whole video, but you can probably guess. I broke a lot of pencils. It was so difficult. And the scale of things is really hard to convey on camera. Obviously, when things are zoomed in, it's hard to kind of convey how big those things are. But like, this is the size of the pencil in relation to my hand. And the lead inside the pencil is even smaller. And sometimes it's just crazy how tiny of a movement you can make that causes it to break. But I was determined to keep going, keep learning, and make something successful. So I needed to simplify things, jump into a carving montage where we actually complete some pencils. Here we go. One of the things that I learned in doing all of these was there's always this point where you could go a little bit further in terms of refining the look and feel of all of them, but it's a fine balance in terms of where do you stop with cleaning it up and making it look more polished at the risk of breaking the pencil. So with some of them, I ended up taking an hour break and then coming back to them and refining them a little bit more. And some of them I was like, this seems too fragile, I'm just gonna stop here. Because it feels like it could break at any moment. And you do get to the point where you can kind of feel the tension in the lead, and you know it's getting close to its breaking point, so you don't really want to push it any further. But it all happens so fast. Once you break it, there's no going back. You could maybe glue it back together or something like that, but that's not really the point. The point is to keep an intact piece of pencil all together. So I have a couple more to show you real quick, but for this one, we'll do a bit of a guessing game. Let's see if you can guess what I'm carving here. I feel like it'll be fairly simple, but, oh, right. Forgot that actually happens a lot more than I've shown you. Let's start over. I'm sure you're gonna get it this time. Okay, joking aside, I'll show you the full carving here. This one was actually really fun to make. I was really happy with the finished product, although again, I could have cleaned it up more, but it was so fragile. And it's a bonsai tree, in case you couldn't tell. Hopefully that was obvious. So at this point, I wanted another challenge that was outside of my comfort zone. So I've never done anything that's a sculpture of the human form or a face or anything like that. And I thought, maybe I'll do something of a YouTuber. So I thought of a few different people that I could do, and PewDiePie came to mind, and I thought maybe I could create something amazing and post it on Reddit, and it would be awesome. I created something. So I had that idea, and I had this pencil that was kind of the color scheme of PewDiePie's channel. Unfortunately, this is where things got really dark. Yeah, literally, my head was in the shot for most of the time I was filming this. I was so concentrated on this one sculpture, I didn't know until I was reviewing all of the footage. And every time I looked up to check the monitor, I didn't see my head in it. And I don't have a bunch of other people checking to see my footage. I made the best of it, and this is what I have. So I started carving away, and I got to something that looked kind of like a person, but it was also giving me some other vibes for some reason. So I started over. And after many hours of sculpting, I finally got to a finished product. Now I dusted off some of my old Photoshop skills, and this is what I was expecting to make, and this is what I actually made. Oh, I know, it doesn't look good. But you know what? It's on a pencil. I'm sure if I had a better camera, or a microscope, or better tools, or if I had more time, or if I took lessons to learn. But ultimately, it was a lot of fun, and it was fun imagining what it could have been. And maybe I'll still post a meme or something on Reddit. Now there's one more sculpture that I wanted to do, which was revisiting that sculpture that I imagined so long ago when I was so young in this project. That simple link. I was so determined to make this happen. And it did take me a couple tries, but I finally got to this point where with one tiny movement, I felt it break free. It wasn't the break I was afraid of, where the pencil was falling apart. It was the two links coming free from each other, but still intact. I continued to clean it up, and I called it done before I accidentally broke it. There I had it. I had all of my pencils. I took some photos. Again, I don't have a macro lens, so I tried to take as close of a shot as I could with all of these, and I'll try to post these on my Instagram so you can check them out. But I just had so much fun doing this, and I think anyone can do this. All you need is patience. I think you don't even need that steady of a hand. It's just discouraging when it breaks, and a lot of people probably give up after 2 or 3. But if you just keep going, you can do it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the final products. I know they're not perfect, but I think there's so much beauty in a sculpture that is so tiny. And I hope you had fun watching. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you very soon.